Radish, a Eurasian plant or Raphanus sativus in the mustard family, having a fleshy edible root and white to purple flowers clustered in a terminal rhizome. A swollen, pungent, tasting edible root, especially a variety which is small, spherical and red and eaten raw with salad. The plant of the cabbage family which is yelled the radish. Objective R. Student must know all about the crop which is radish. They will know the planting practices employed in the radish. Students should identify the particular varieties of radish. There are 4 problems that can be plagued home gardeners when trying to grow radishes, including being too spicy to eat, not forming a bulb, growing tough, woody flesh, or cracking vegetables. Once you've got into the habit, radishes are one of the quickest and easiest food it's possible to grow at home. But despite their simplicity, there's plenty that can go wrong for beginners if your radish experiments haven't turned out quite as planned. Here are 9 of the most problems and how to handle them. Radishes are a hardy, easy to grow root vegetables that can be planted multiple times in a growing season. They are grown for their root and their edible leaves. Plus, radishes can be harvested as soon as 3 weeks after planting. Here our full guide on how radishes in the garden. Radish seeds can be planted in both and spring the pool, but growing should be suspended in the height of summer when temperatures are typically too hot. Hot temperatures may cause radishes to bolt, making them essentially useless. Otherwise, radishes are one of the easiest vegetables to grow. Plant radish in a sunny spot. If radishes are planted in too much shade, or even where neighboring vegetables plants shade them, they will put all their energy into producing larger leaves. Tell your garden bed to remove any rocks of dirt clothes before planting. Like carrots, radish plants are primarily grown for their roots. Through the soil needs to be rich in organic matter. It should not be compacted. If your soil is more clay-like, mix in some compost to loosen it and improve drainage. Practice 3-year crop rotation. In other words, only plant radishes in the same spot every 3rd year. This will help prevent diseases from affecting your crop. When to plant radishes? For a spring planting, sow seeds 4 to 6 weeks before the average date of your last spring frost. See local frost dates here. Fall planting is also possible with radishes. You can plant radishes later than any other root crop in the late summer or early fall and still get a harvest. Sow seeds 4 to 6 weeks before the first fall frost. How to plant radishes? Radishes do best in soil rich in organic matter. Incorporate a few inches of aged compost or apply all-purpose fertilizers into the planting site as soon as the soil is workable. Radishes seed have a fairly long shelf life. Don't be afraid to plant radish seeds that are up to 5 years old. All may not germinate, but you'll have plenty that will. It's best to sow radish seeds directly in the garden, so as not to disturb their roots. Directly sow seed outdoor 1/2 to 1 inch depth and 1 inch apart in rows 12 inches apart. Sow another round of seeds every 10 days or so while weather is still cold for a continuous harvest of radishes in the late spring and early summer. How to grow radish? Crowded plants do not grow well. Thin radishes to about 2 inches apart when the plants are a week old by snipping the greens at the soil line. The thinnings are edible, so add to a salad. If thinning Bean carefully pulled with roots, leaves, and stem intact. Replant them. Transplant might be a bit stressed, but they should recover. Weed regularly to reduce competition to radishes. Consistent, even moisture is the key. Keep soil evenly moist but not waterlogged. A, di- a drip irrigation system is a great way to achieve this. Putting a thin layer of mulch around the radishes can help retain moisture in dry conditions. Pests and diseases. Radish pests and diseases are cabbage root maggots, insect, wild stunted plants, off-color leaves, larvae feeding on roots. Use collars around seedling stems. Monitor adults with yellow sticky straps. Use row covers. Destroy crop residue. Till soil in foil. Cabbage worm insects. Leaves have large rag holes or are skeletonized. Heads bored, dark green excrement, yellowish eggs laid singly on left undersides. Handpick. Use row covers. Add native plants to invite beneficial insects. Grow companion plants, especially thyme. Spray Bacillus thuringiensis, a bacteria that affects larvae and grubs. Cloveroot fungus, wilted, stunted plants, yellow leaves, root appear swollen, distorted, destroy infected plants, solarize soil, maintain soil pH of around 7.2. Disinfect tools, rotate crops. Use row covers, mulch heavily, add native plants to invite beneficial insects. White rust fungus, chalk white disturbed mainly on leaf undersides. Small yellow-green spots or blisters, sometimes in circular arrangement. On upper leaf surfaces, possible distortion or galls. Stem may be infected. Destroy infected plants. Choose resistant varieties. Weed. Destroy crop residue. Rotate crops. A late maturing variety that does okay in moderate heat. Watermelon, a mild sweet radish with white skin and pinkish center. Birth white, spring variety, white skin. Daikon, a white Japanese winter radish that gets large, up to 16 inches long. Best grown in colder climates or during the colder ends of the growing season. Rat's tail. These radishes are grown for their seed pods rather than their root. The pads offer a tangy, spicy flavor stronger than your usual radish. Dragon's tail. Like rat's tail, these radishes are grown for their seed pods. The pods of this variety are thinner and thorn a lovely purple color. How to harvest radish? Radishes will be ready to harvest quite rapidly, as soon as 3 weeks after planting for some varieties. For most varieties, harvest when roots are approximately 1 inch in diameter at the soil surface. Pull one out of test it before harvesting the rest. Do not leave radishes in the ground long after their mature stage. Their condition will be deteriorate quickly. Winter radishes keep in the ground a few weeks after they mature. If the weather is cool, finish the harvest before frost. How to store radishes? Cut off the tops and thin root tail. Wash the radishes and dry them thoroughly.